guys, it's HappyConxciousGal here, and I thought I'd join in the March tagging madness. I've been watching so many people vlogging and tagging since I started HCG, and it's just so inspiring to watch all of your journeys. And I'm pretty new to this journey. I'm on VLCD 17, so I've been doing HCG for 2.5 weeks, something like that, maybe 3 weeks including the loading. And I just wanted to join in and do the tagging so I could share a little bit about myself too. I've just started a vlog last week and already lots of people watching it because I'm saying some pretty funny stuff on there. Anyway, so I'm going to answer the tagging questions. My name, HappyConxciousGal. And I chose that because I am a fairly happy person and I'm feeling very happy doing this HCG protocol because it's the answer to my prayers. And I'm a fairly conscious person, health conscious, spiritually conscious, aware, generally person, and that's a part of myself I choose to develop. So I guess that's why I call myself HappyConxciousGal. I have set up a new Facebook account just for my HCG journey, and it's called HCGal, which stands for HappyConxciousGal. If any of you guys would love to add me as your friend, that would be great, because I'm sure I'm going to get quite prolific on Facebook once I get into it. Let me just look at the next question, which means I must put my glasses on. Hang on. Oh yes, my location. I'm here in Melbourne, Australia, which is why if you can hear a strange accent, it's because I am Australian. I am an Aussie and I speak like an Aussie, although I've lived all over the world, so my accent's a little bit confused. I'm actually in a relationship, almost married. We're talking about marriage, it's very exciting. We've been together for a year. His name's Alan and he's a Californian and he's based in Hawaii, so I've been going back and forth between Melbourne, Australia and Hawaii. And he is currently here with me in Melbourne, which is beautiful, and I really love him. And I've been single for 37 years, pretty much, until I met him. And he really was the answer to my prayers too. He's everything I've ever wanted, and a real soulmate, and kindred spirit, and my life partner for sure. And you know, when you've waited for something this long, you recognize it when it comes along. And it's the same with this HCG protocol. Like everyone else here, I've done a billion diets over my whole life. And finally finding something that's addressing the actual underlying hormonal metabolism issues is a massive relief, and it shows me that I'm onto the right thing. So let me look at the next question. Oh, pets. This is my beautiful pussycat Mojo. I'm madly in love with him. He has the biggest, bluest eyes. I don't know if you can see. Anyway, he's a Burman and I just love him. And he's been in some of my vlogs so far, and I already showed you guys this, but it's funny because he makes a wonderful scarf, don't you? So when it's cold, he walks around the house with me like this, like my scarf. Anyway, it's quite hot today, so we don't need him as a scarf, so he get down. Anyway, he's gorgeous. And until I met Alan, he really was the man in my life. Anyway, next question, my hobbies. I have lots of hobbies. I guess my main hobby my whole life has been stories. I love anything to do with stories. I love reading books, novels, I love watching movies, I love television shows, and I also love telling stories. I'm a storyteller, I'm a writer, I've written movie scripts, I've written stories, novels, all that sort of stuff. And I also love sharing stories with words, so I'm a speaker, public speaker, and I also have, as a hobby, my own radio show once a week where I chat with people all around the world who are also very awake and conscious, and they share with me, you know, their realizations, their epiphanies, the things they've learned in their life, and I chat with them about that, and it's just so much fun. I look forward to it every week. So I guess my hobbies are all to do with speaking and writing and stuff like that. What other hobbies do I have? One of my hobbies has always been healthy food. I've been a raw foodist, vegetarian most of my life, although I am eating fish on this protocol, which is a very interesting experience. And yeah, everything to do with alternative culture is pretty much my hobby. I'm interested in the spiritual community, the alternative community, stuff like that, healing, things like that. And one of my other hobbies is something called the Feldenkrais method, which is an amazing body movement method, kind of like yoga or Pilates, but much more subtle. And I used that to recover from 10 years of chronic back pain that I had, where I couldn't walk and I was in terrible pain. And luckily I found the Feldenkrais method and it got me completely well, so I still do it every day because I love it. So that's one of my hobbies. No, I don't have any kids. I don't really collect anything. Oh, I collect people, I guess. I have a lot of friends all over the world because I've lived all over the world. And I love matchmaking people. So probably on this in this HCG community, if I find someone that I think, oh, I have to introduce this person to this person, I'm sure I'll do that because I love to introduce people to each other. Favorite color is definitely blue. I also like turquoise, any kind of blue, any kind of bright blue. And it's interesting because I had my colors done a couple of years ago. Actually, I'll show you this. I'll be right back. This is my color wheel that I was given when I had my colors done. So you can see how this top I'm wearing fits in, although it's probably a tiny bit light. But I tend to wear all these colors and it's called Dusky Cool Deep. Anyway, so my favorite colors to look at are still very bright, turquoises and aquas and bright purples and stuff, but my colors that I wear tend to be more muted now. But I'm growing to love my new colors because they do look much better on me. Turns out my eyes look really green when I wear the right colors, and when I wear the wrong colors, I look quite ill. So that was interesting to learn. So what's the next question? Next question, favorite relaxing activity is probably the same as my hobbies. I just like to hang. I actually really like to just veg out in front of really good quality television. My latest thing I've been watching is Downton Abbey, which is an amazing show by the BBC. It's brilliant. And I love just hanging out with my man, cuddling him. That's pretty nice. When did I start HCG? I started it, I suppose it must be 19 days ago because I'm on VLCD 17. This year, I am on round 1 and only, because I've made a very strong commitment to myself to only do 1 round. I have 34 pounds to lose, 15 kilograms that we would say here in Australia, and I believe I can do that in 1 round. I've got enough injections for 40 days. And for me, it's really important when I'm doing something really big in my life, when I'm creating major transformational change, to do it without a safety net. So if I have the thought in the back of my mind, oh, well, I can always do another round next year, or if I put the weight back on, I can do it again, then I'm not going to do it with full commitment. So I have made a solemn promise to myself, on record on this vlog, that I'm only doing this once. And by declaring that to the universe like this, I am sending a very strong message to my subconscious and to my higher self and to the world in general that this is my truth. I'm doing this round once. And so that means all the forces of the universe will galvanize around me to ensure that my 1 round is successful. So we'll see what happens, but I'm very excited about that because I reckon it's going to work. It's already working. I've already liberated loads of fat. How does my family feel? I've actually only told my parents and my partner. I made a choice to not tell any of my friends or anything. I'm having a very quiet month, very introverted, not going out very much. I don't want anyone to lower my vibration around this. I'm holding a very high vibration of certainty of the success of this. My partner's incredibly supportive. My parents are incredibly supportive. And I don't really want to risk telling anyone else because they might go, ooh, what are you doing? That sounds weird. I've never heard of that. Because remember, no one in Australia has heard of HCG. So they're all going to think it's some weird thing. I definitely have read Pounds and Inches. I've read it many times before I started and since. And I think it's brilliant. It's the Bible. You've got to read it. You've got to stick to it. That's it. I have read Weight Loss Apocalypse. I think it's an excellent book. I did a whole vlog about it the other day about using the hunger scale. I've decided to use it in P3. I don't think it's appropriate to use in P2 because I started using it and I ended up eating way too few calories and my weight loss dropped a little bit. So I've decided to go back to it in P3 and P4 when I think it'll be a wonderful tool. Favorite vlogger? I don't really know yet because I've only been doing this whole vlogging thing really the last 5 or 6 days. I would love to hang out with loads of you, but I guess unless I come over to America, I'm probably not going to get to meet you. So, old school vloggers I'd like to see do an update. Oh, all of you. You know, it's wonderful to see people on P5, P6, you know, 2 years down the track, 3 years down the track, when they're not even using the letter P to talk about their lives, when they're just living. You know, I'd love to hear about from those people to see how they're going 2, 3, 4, 5 years later, how they're keeping the weight off. You know, I'm sure they all are. I am using injections. I'm using injections because I'm working with a clinic here in Melbourne right near me, and they, you know, a medical clinic, and they do the whole thing legit, you know, injections. I do it every day in my tummy, and I feel very confident. I wanted to do the real stuff because I'm only doing this once. So, VLCD 17, that's what I'm up to. I was actually given only 21 injections from my clinic, and I was going to do it in 2 rounds. I was going to do 1 round now and then go through P3, P4 and then do another round in June, which to me would have been crazy because I probably would have only had 10 or maybe 15 max pounds to lose, which is like 4 or 5 kilos in Australian lingo. And I think it would have been a nightmare because I would have got really hungry during it, because once abnormal fat is gone, then you get really, really hungry. So anyway, on VLCD 12, I went to my clinic for a checkup. I've actually made a vlog all about that day because it was incredibly exciting. I won't go into all the details now, but my clinic ran all these tests on my body fat, my muscle, my health generally, to see how the HCG had been affecting me. And she said it was the best result she'd ever seen on any test for anyone with HCG that she'd worked with, because my body fat had dropped hugely, but also my muscle had increased because I've been eating such high quality fish and protein. And I don't normally eat that much fish because I'm normally sort of a vegan, raw food person. And she was so blown away. Also, my cell fluid had improved. All sorts of markers of health had improved. I've already just done all the cleansers and everything before this, so my body was already in a good state of health. I wasn't having a detox or anything on HCG because I've already done all my detoxing earlier in the year. So she said, wow, you're doing really well on this. And I said to her, well, look, is there any chance I could just continue this round to get all the fat liberated in one go, so I don't have to do it again in June, because it just seems stupid. I'm on a roll, you know, I've got my kitchen set up, I'm in a habit now, I'm really enjoying the food, I don't want to have to stop and start it all again just for a few kilograms. She agreed, which I was really happy with. So she's given me a second lot of injections, and so then I put those 2 lots of injections together. It means I can go a full 41 days, I think. And I may not need to, I may only have to go 35 days and I'll be at the end. Or I may have to use all of them, all the days up. It's just going to depend if my weight loss slows towards the end. We'll find out. Stay tuned. I'm missing my green smoothies every morning. I normally make a massive green smoothie full of like bananas and fruit and then tons of greens like spinach and millions of greens, and it just has a million protein powders and not protein powders, vital greens, flour powders and coconut oil and just every healthy powder and every healthy supplement in it. And I drink it and I feel so high energy, and obviously I can't have that on P2, so I am missing that. I'm missing my spelt crackers that I like, they're yummy with avocado on them, but I don't think I'll be having them for a while because I won't be having any starches after this for a long time. So yeah, there's not really any point in missing food because, you know, I'm enjoying the food on this. Favourite loading food? I found the loading stage absolutely disgusting. It made me sick. I had diarrhea for 2 days afterwards. I hated it. That's one of the reasons I didn't want to do a second round. But I used, because I don't normally eat that much highly processed fattening food, but I used the loading phase for a funny purpose. I used it to go back through my past and eat all the foods that I've always loved and get them out of my system once and for all. So I gorged on all my favourite childhood foods and teenage foods and the sort of foods I eat at movies and in front of the TV, or if I'm depressed or something, I just gorged on them. So hopefully now they're out of my system and I'll never eat them again, because I felt disgusting. It's interesting when you take the emotional reasons out of the equation and you eat them because you have to, you realise how disgusting they are and how awful you feel. So that was interesting. Favourite new seasoning since HCG? I have to say, I have discovered some great seasonings on this. It's been one of the brilliant gifts from doing it. I found this amazing vegetable stock here in Australia that has nothing in it but vegetables. No salt, no sugar, no oil. It's literally just a pot of vegetables that they've boiled it and reduced it for about 10 hours to this really pure vegetable broth. And I bought it and I've frozen it into ice cubes, and every single day I melt the ice cube and I cook with it. Yum. And these amazing organic spices I bought at the health food shop. Yum. So I'm enjoying that. Favourite P2 food? I have to say, it's very new to me to eat much fish. I normally only eat it once every couple of weeks, but I'm eating it twice a day. And I've discovered that snapper is divine. And I've discovered that if you cook it with fennel, it is divine. I guess the last thing I'll share with you guys is my weight loss goal, my fat liberation goal, I like to call it. I started out at, before the loading, I was 78 kilograms, which is 172 pounds. And my goal weight is 62.5 kilograms, which is 138 pounds. So that'll be interesting. I've never been that size in my whole life. So lovely to meet you all. I hope I've answered all the questions. And come check out my channel because I'm having a lot of fun with it. I'd love to see you guys there, and I'd love to hear your comments and stuff. And I'll keep watching all of your vlogs and writing comments. And I just think it's such a beautiful community we're all in. And thank you so much for welcoming me into it. See you guys.